So, good morning. Today we're going to be looking at a couple of auctions that are taking place today. The first of which is Wessex Auctions, which is a nice auction that gets some decent stuff in there, to be fair. I've bought from here several times in the past and done very well. So we'll have a quick look through the ceramics there, and then we'll do a second video on assembly auctioneers. So starting off, you see they've got some nice troika at the start, including this one piece here, which is very nice, wheel vase. The only trouble with troika, similar to Clarice Cliff, is that you tend to find that you're up against collectors and you can't really outbid them when you're looking to sell for a profit. And talking of Clarice Cliff, there's one piece there, which not the best of patterns though, so I'm not sure that I'll really look into that one. We've got an early Dalton figure here, which isn't uncommon, unfortunately, and it does tend to sell for around £100, £120 mark. So if it goes cheap, it's worth it, but if not, it's one to pass on. Very nice Empire Ware chintz coffee service. It's more about the pattern, this one, rather than the name. Empire Ware isn't as big a name as some of the others that made chintz wares, but it is very pretty, and I suspect that will do quite well today. It's got 20 to 40 on it. Certainly go towards the higher end, I'd have thought. Now this is something that I do like. Again, don't do too much glass, but I love the shade. Classic Art Deco look. The base is okay. It's molded figural base, but that shade is lovely. Absolutely gorgeous, and I think that'll probably do quite well. There's a Shelley coffee service here, which again, the pattern's not overly inspiring to me. So it's one of those where you have to weigh up the risk versus reward. Well, it's not so much risk, it's the amount of work you've got to put in, sort of wrapping and listing and photographing something like this and sending it. So it has to justify it. I don't know if that set will. Got four Wedgwood ladies here. They're all wives of Henry VIII. They're doing quite well lately. So we'll keep an eye on them, see if they go at a reasonable price. I do quite like this lot because you've got three Sitzendorf figures, 9 very elegant Spode coffee cups or coffee cans, plus other little bits and bobs which appear to have, some of them have some age to them. Yeah, that's quite a nice. I like these sort of multiple lots. Often do quite well out of them. Again, there's a lot of work involved, but it is often worth it. Now we've got these Wedgwood Millennium vases. There's a pair of them. Now, I've looked these up and they don't sell for a great deal, but they are very nice. And they're potentially the sort of thing that might increase in value in the future. So if you buy that, it's possibly worth hanging on to them for a bit. Right, quick scan through. Nice Victorian. I said Victorian, could be Edwardian. Royal Worcester service, got classical decoration, sort of Eros. Quite a nice service, that one. I do quite like that. Again, that's another Clarice Cliff Celtic Harvest. It's not very nice. Some Royal Albert Lady Hamilton tea wares. That's a nice set, always does well. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here, this milk pail. So it's a Victorian style, so it's a reproduction. Now, if you used to get the old ones, they go for fortunes, but these modern ones, possibly not so. So I probably won't even bother looking at that one. Bog standard Wedgwood commemorative wares. Again, that has to be very, very cheap because you'll be sitting on that for ages. A lot of that. Wedgwood Gold Florentine tea service. That's a nice lot. It's got a teapot as well. Always popular, that is. So that's one to keep an eye on. I do tend to like cup and saucer lots, but these are possibly a little bit modern. There's a couple of nice ones in there. I quite like that one on the left. But I'm not sure that that's really worth my while because the modern ones are not that great. A couple of interesting lots here which I'll keep an eye on. I like the This scent bottle's quite big, got an unusual stopper, and I like these. They're probably 19th century pill boxes. Tiffany & Co. Lalique, two of the finest names you'll get. I quite like the Tiffany one especially. It's for Elizabeth Arden. It's like a paperweight apparently, but very, very nice. Do like that. Again, I like these Meissen candlesticks. Not so worried about the cup at the front, to be fair. It's like one of those ones where they copy them. Just doesn't look. Yeah, the handle's a bit clunky. I do like these. Now I've had similar to these in the past, but they've been fish as the sort of stems of the glasses. But they flew. They literally, I listed them and they were gone within hours. It's a shame there's only 3 though. If there were 6, that'd be awesome, that lot. But I still suspect it will go for decent money. Interesting, possibly modern inkwell there. Now I did quite like this lot. I like the little Wedgwood Luster finger bowl, and they always sell. But a little bit of digging. There's no condition report here, so you have to look carefully. You'll notice that there's a chip on the inner rim of that Wedgwood black jasperware pot. So you know, that sort of does kill the value, unfortunately. Scrolling down now. Anything else that caught my eye? This is my favourite lot of the day, I think, in here. I like Wedgwood, Worcester blush ivory ware, and there's a couple in there painted with pheasants. There's also a cup which is potentially hand painted. Very, very nice. Yeah, it does look it. And it is Worcester. They're all Worcester. So I like those little bud vases. Oh, they're Lock & Co, but very, very nice still. Right, Wedgwood Royal Worcester figurine, which they seem to have gone up in value recently. These sorts of nice quality figures, so that's one worth keeping an eye on. What we got next? Caught my eye. Yeah, this lot. 2 very bog standard Royal Doulton character jugs in Sari, Gamp and Granny. But you do have the sort of double-sided ones, the little or big ones, Sittingbourne Custer. That's worth a few bob. And you've got the Henry VIII with his wives as the twin handles. So that's not a bad one. So we'll keep an eye on that lot and see where that goes. Right, work versus reward time. 25 Hummel figures and 2 miniature Doulton ladies. Probably looking at about £8 a piece. So again, it's the amount of work involved and having to post them and etc. Is it worth it? That's what you need to ask with things like that. Same with these. You've got some Beatrix Potter figures here. I did notice though that there is a good one in there. I think that's Ginger. That's generally a £50 figurine. 17 Bunnykins. Again, work versus reward. Same with the Old Country Roses. But that has got a teapot and a coffee pot, so that's potentially a decent lot there. Keep scrolling down. I like this lot. It's got some old stuff in it, which always appeals. It's one of those ones that's a bit of a gamble, but looking at it with your eyes, you can see like these are quite nice. I think they're for night lights. You've got like handles that do things like this. Interesting Rythen handles. Yeah, it's going to have wear to it because you can see it's old. And also this piece in the background, that looks interesting. There's a closer up photo of it. Not really, it just goes into a floral base, but it's still quite nice. Quite like that lot. And then the last lot I was going to look at was this one. Let's just say this goes for £40 on average. This could be £40 of junk, but then again, you never know. So the first thing that you look at is this big thing here, big vase. Looks nice, you know, ornate handles, but you look closely and see it's one of those Edwardian clunky pieces that are so out of fashion. Not very nice. Sort of thing that I'll probably end up putting in a charity shop. Um, those potentially a bit better. Really don't like that. And looking in there, some interesting teaware. As you can see, this lot is a real gamble. Now, you're thinking, oh, hang on, there's a Wedgwood teapot and a stand, but it doesn't appear to have a handle. So this potentially is a whole load of trouble, this lot. 5 boxes of rubbish, but then there might be one or two things in there that are great and can justify going for it. It's one of those ones where it's a bit of a gamble. Unfortunately, I'm a bit of a gambler, so I'll probably end up going for that. Just typical of me. So that's the stuff that I'm looking at Wessex auctions. They do have stuff further in the sale, like some nice pictures, but primarily today I'm just looking at ceramics and a little bit of glass. So that's it for that particular auction.